It's actually recording right now, but we don't have to there's no fancy pre-production or anything like that.
Hey,
yeah, we can just cut it.
Hey, welcome to the All Podcast.
But we got Shanna's mic, so you have to put it in the middle of us. No,
it's just there for props, I guess.
Well, no, I just didn't have it took down.
Okay.
But this is episode. I'm gonna call it 000. Episode 000. This is definitely a goddamn prototype.
I just did like this.
It's fine. This is definitely a prototype episode. It's not meant to be. Well, it's very amateur hour, if I may say. It's very amateur hour. The name of it, man. I settled on Blood Don't Matter.
I thought it wasn't Blood Doesn't Matter. I thought it was...
It was Blood Don't Matter. No, I liked originally Family Matter, but that's only taken
No. You didn't say Blood Don't Matter. You said Blood something else.
No, I said Blood Don't Matter. It was always Blood Don't Matter. Well, okay, all right. So as you guys know, I have a very what's the word I'm looking for?
What?
I can't think of the word right now, but I am very hostile towards certain things. One of those certain things begin with an F. Family, for some reason. And it took me a long time to discover why I am so hostile towards them. And then once I figured out why I was so hostile towards them, it all made sense to me. And then I also looked at the other relationships around me and realized that those relationships are a lot more fulfilling than that whole familial bond bullshit. And it's really because, it's people that are not related to me or by blood that have always treated me or gave me the respect that I like. One, that I felt like I deserve, and two, it didn't come with a condition. Where some of the most unconditional love I've ever felt.
What you're doing with your hoodie, Victor.
It's fire, right?
Some of the most unconditional love I ever felt was from people outside of that familial bond. So I had to get away with that. So that's why after Family Matters, Family Matters wasn't that the family mattered. It was family matters, more like the matters that the family needs to discuss that we don't discuss about. Mm-hmm. So I landed on Blood Don't Matter, not because one, it sounded cool, if I may. It did, but right? That's what I thought. It sounded cool, but then also I really mean that. Like, family doesn't matter. It's the people that you choose to have in your life, and they equally choose to have you in their lives, and you mutually grow and love each other unconditionally.
Right.
And some people will see that terminology of love unconditionally and automatically think, well, if it's not your family, it's your partner, whatever the case may be. But I really do believe I form bonds with people outside of the family, outside of blood relatives, and the bonds go deeper than some other people, some people in my family. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said blood don't matter. Okay. And it's not a diss. I know that some family will hear this and say, "Yo, he's dissing us. He don't fuck with us." That's not the case. It's just really, it's really about the experiences that we all go through, that we've all been through in our own personal journeys, that no one has ever, one, prepared us for, two, never helped us cope and deal with that situation in a healthy manner, and three, because of all that, we're still here, still trying to figure it all out. So it's really just a relative conversation about our individual struggles, and it's cool because you and I share. Obviously you and I are brothers, but you two are also related. But you guys separately also have unique experiences that not everyone can say that they've been through, and the fact that we
love each other.
The fact that you guys
don't do that, because we love each other.
That's crazy.
We're in love.
No, but we're gonna get on Shamar's and his ability, his inability to show love in a moment. We gonna talk about it. We got a whole segment. That's segment number one for me.
Like I said, actions speak louder than words.
Well, let me tell you, your actions the other night, I'm gonna talk about them. All right, but for real though, I mean, we all experienced some things in life, and we all had to either, go through it by ourselves, or at least how I felt, we had to go through it by our damn selves. No one ever told us, how to really respond to it, and we don't know how to cope. So, this is really just us being the adults that we are, and realizing that, like, all right, shit ain't perfect, but we were still able to survive and be, functioning in some degree.
Debatable.
Debatable. We're able to function. So that's where blood don't matter. I also have a little personal concept, and you know, trust me, I'm going to let you guys speak.
Because I was just wondering, because I have a lot to say, because I just feel like you know, you guys have familial bonds, but we're in love. Like I said, I just want to put that out
hear
there.
you.
We're in love. So there's that.
You know, how I landed on doing a podcast and just trying to figure things out. It's an idea I had over a year. And you know, for me, it's always the perfectionist in me and the ability, as soon as something goes out of whack from my initial vision, I instantly just want to throw it away. You know, and it's an awful, it's an awful way of doing shit. So finally, after all this tremendous, you know, this horrible year that we had in 2020.
Man, this year was trash.
Yeah.
Wow.
Facts.
I finally said no more. I'm gonna do what I need to do and get it done. And this is 00, and I'm not gonna, this is episode 000. I'm not gonna worry about, you know, I'm not gonna worry too much about the finished product. You know, because in my mind, I really have like this grandiose idea of how it should look, and this is very far from that concept. And I'm learning how to live with that. 2 is, you know, years ago I went to a funeral, and there was a, you know, I'm not going to speak too much about the person that passed, but there was a time where we had to move the casket, and there weren't enough men that were closely related to the family to actually, you know, bring this woman's casket to its final resting place. And that day scared me in the sense that, 1, I was a young adult who only had women as friends, and 2, I never wanted, you know, the women in my family or the women close to me to have to worry about carrying my big ass in a casket.
Thanks.
So for me, it was like,
Can't relate on
for me, it was about, you know, forming bonds with people outside that were also men that I could relate with and really share a sense of brotherhood with, that in the event that I do pass, it's not left to the women to take care of me. Because I feel like my family, our family's full of women that, you know, strong women, but women that you know, don't need to be doing the things that they do, and carrying a casket is one of them. And then this is also a love letter to my son, because there's a lot of things that I can't explain. I don't even have the right. I don't know how to explain half the things I go through. You know, I take away lessons, and I learn that lesson in that moment. But if I don't jot it down, or I don't find a way to relate it to AJ, he's going to miss out on that lesson. And I'm at the age now to where I wish I had someone provide me an example of how I could explain some of the lessons that I'm learning. Because right now I'm learning it, and I am registering what I'm learning, but to the ability to communicate what you learn to someone else, especially of youth, is like, you know, is to me, you know, priceless, and it's something that I want to do. So if I could find a way to capture the lessons I learned, and it happens to be on video or some type of audio file, this is it, you know. And then, you know, of course, it's that fear of not leaving behind anything. You know, I personally believe that one day I will be super rich, but in the event that I don't be super rich, he'll be super rich in files filled with his dad. So, you know, I tear up at night when I'm going to Facebook and I hear someone like, oh, I found a recording of my dad, you know, 10 years ago. You know, like that shit makes me tear up at night. So it's like, oh, I want to leave shit like that. So now he'll have a whole, you know, YouTube channel or you know, SoundCloud that he can go to and hear his father, his mother, and his uncles, which apparently are his favorite people. Not even his mom and dad, but his uncles.
Big facts.
No, that's not even a fact. Because I told him about it. He said it wasn't really a fact.
No, you be pressuring him though. You be pressuring him. You got the belly in hand. You're like, AJ, who's your favorite? And you know, what is he supposed to say?
Nah, the kid literally loves me. He said like I'm the best.
Yeah,
like,
he says he loves you, but really, like he told me, and Shamal heard him, that his uncles are his favorite.
That's crazy.
Don't know why.
Also, the baby don't pay taxes, and the baby's less than smart. So we're gonna allow him time to grow.
That's crazy.
So going back on the on like, you know, you don't want to like be forgotten and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where it is from. It was from like a movie or a show. They said you die 2 times. One is obviously when you physically die, and the other time is when your name is last spoken like ever.
Mm.
Wow.
That's another time.
Yeah.
And that was real true.
Yeah.
That's real deep. So, I don't know. I guess maybe like the first thing that I want to say, or the first point that I don't take shit seriously, like ever at all. Like, and it's not even that I don't take stuff seriously. I do inside my mind, like I'm a very critical person, but at the same time, it's like I was just raised in such a high-strung family, and everything mattered, even in the smallest way, in the way that it could be manipulated. So I just feel as if I'm misinterpreted a lot, because I'm like rough around the edges. I'm not nice. I'm nice in actions. Like, I'm very nice in actions, and I care a lot, like, immensely. But, like, in words, I feel like they can really know that I'm not really
that's facts.
I'm not nice in words at all. But I'm still the same, like, I'm the type of person where I didn't have my mother and my sisters growing up, which happen to be, like, people that I really fuck with or I want to fuck with more. But my main goal is to have a family. Like, I know that I spoke to you about it and you're like, no. Like, that's not my end goal. My end goal is like family. I'm very family oriented, and I want to maybe give that to the next generation. It's not really here. Like, my family is like hella when it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? I do know they love me. I know that they love us, I guess you could say. But at the same time, it's extremely conditional. It comes from whatever rules that they've preset for us to follow, and if we don't, we're the worst. But then you're kind of on this hamster wheel where it's like, you do it, and then I have actually physically seen, I'm not going to talk about it because it's not my story to tell, I have seen the result of following the rules. That person is miserable. Mm-hmm. That person does not have anything to show for following the rules. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to, like, do a little bit. I wish I was nicer with my words. I want to say I'm working on it, but
you're not.
I'm not. like I'm just not. I mean, I just expect people to know that if you're close enough to me, you know I care. You know that I'm never going to be the person that's going to do something vile ever. Like, ever. It doesn't matter what happens. I want you to always understand that I'm never going to make a poor decision when it comes to, like, anybody in my life. You could be a fly on the wall. Well, I mean, I'm going to kill a fly, but what I'm saying is, you know, that was a bad example. But if you're in my life, I'm not going to, enemy or not, foe or not, I'm never going to make a bad decision, because at the core of who I am, I'm like a decent human at the end of the day. But I don't really feel like it's a reason to work on my words. Like, I'm trying, because, like he said, like, you know, you're an ass. Like, stop or try. You know, so I've been trying, I think.
I mean, I think that's cap. To be real. At least not when it comes to me. I don't think you tried, because
no,
you came in today and said, you know, I was just chilling in the room. You came in, you said, Vic, you looked out. I was like, come on, bro. So, I mean, I think when it comes to me, you try a little harder. You know, I be trying to be nice. I be trying my hardest to be nice.
Okay, so I spoke to him directly as to why I'm so, like, mean to you guys with my words, but nice when it's not my words. And that is directly because Armand and I are the exception and not the rule. So you have to understand that outside of this bubble, this does not exist. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And you will get hurt in a way that I can't fix or mentor you through, right? So I almost want to desensitize you to words while still giving you a comfortable home life. Meaning, do you get up with me? No. In my house, when my mama up, everybody up, okay? It doesn't matter if there's a reason for you to be up, if there's a purpose, a teachable lesson for you to be up. No. She just makes everybody in her living quarters immensely uncomfortable. It's the little things. My mom, you can ask Shamar. My mom will wake up and turn on a light because she's up. I will always turn off the light when I'm done using it.
I hate the fact she even turns it on in the first place.
Exactly.
That gets on my nerves.
And he gets on me about that, and I'm very particular about that. So for me, it's like creating that bubble, that safety net. You can always come here. This is your home. You're not sleeping over. This is where you live at. This is where you need to be comfortable. This is where you need to make the mistakes. But please understand, outside of this bubble, it's not good for the most part. And you would have to curate your own bubble for that outside sense of security. It doesn't exist. I think your brother can tell you, it does not exist.
I'm always gonna dress up the dirt. You know, like that's just what I do. You know, I hear what she's saying, and for the most part, I agree with it. But there's always a big part of me that always says, that's not quite true. But
facts.
When I start looking at what actually transpired from 17 all the way up to now, no, like shit is really grimy out here. You know, and it's
from
only,
everybody.
Yeah, you know, like not just from whoever you're renting from, but even once you own it, shit is still grimy. You know, like there was a lot of financial issues that we had with the house. You know, from the moment we moved in.
Financial issues with family.
Yeah.
Financial issues with banking institutions.
Yeah.
You know, issues with work. I had once where I was double dipping from time that was mine, my PTO, and I was getting paid from the military. My boss decided that I didn't need the money, or she was jealous, or in a position to where she felt away for whatever reason. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but she felt away, and she just didn't pay me. So that's what I be trying to get y'all to understand. This bubble, I want you to feel comfortable, because that is the purpose. I want you to feel comfortable. This is not where you sleep. This your house. And I feel like Armand and I did not achieve that until we had our own places. And I just feel like that's a shame. Like, in the black community as a whole, that's a fucking shame. You are told that your parents' house is your parents' house, and that when you want to make your own rules, what they tell you, you do that when you get the fuck out. No.
You want to do anything.
If you are responsible, you respect your nephew and understand that don't put him in any physical harm, this your house. Do in it what you please. This is where you reside. So that's what I'm trying to convey by you guys being here. I want you guys to get out on your own sooner rather than later, because I always talk to him about enabling you guys. So that's why I'm like not that nice when I speak to you guys. But that's why it's always, no, you still trash and you can't touch my creamer still. But at the same time, when dinner is prepared, it's dinner for the family. When grocery is purchased, it's groceries for the family. When laundry detergent it's for us. It's your home. This is where you stay. You do here what you please. Whatever you find to be comfortable. Except for, actually, no, you know what? Y'all can play music loud now, because I don't even like that bitch. So, go ahead.
I never even seen them.
Bro,
I seen the lady
trying
one
to be
time.
so courteous.
Nah, do what you want now. Like, usually I am courteous because I know people work or whatever the case. No, I just decided I don't fuck with her no more. Fuck that hoe.
Yes.
So, yeah, do what you want. And I double dog dare her to come over here. Because now I'm wanting her to say something else. Because I feel like you won the first time, round one, fight. She won, right? Because she caught me off guard. And I'm like, okay, my naturalness is to be courteous. And I'm like, oh, God. Then I took a step back. Okay, girl, it's on. Do what y'all will. Live your best life. I don't care what you do.
I remember when Vic leaves the window open, and I'm like, you smell Marlboros? I think it's coming from that.
They be toting out the Marlboros and talking about a pack a day, man.
Is that downstairs or
No, next door.
Yeah, next door.
Really?
Yeah, we having the window open. I just get a big whiff of cigarettes. I'm like, come on, bro. That's not what I open the window for, bro.
It's probably Marlboro Reds. It's not even the menthol.
Facts.
Oh, shit. Or the gray pack.
Them hundreds, too.
Ooh. Yo, people that smoke the gray pack of Marlboros can't be trusted with anything, not even with your food.
Yeah.
They don't wash their hands ever.
Facts. That shit weird.
They don't wash their hands.
I guess I say all that to say that I'm 30 and I'm not gonna work on my speech. I'm sorry.
You know?
I'm gonna make more of an attempt with Victor, because I do make more of an attempt with Shamar than I do with Victor, but that's because he said something. He was just like, I know you love me, but bitch, you're mean.
I mean, the reason I don't say something is because you can ask him. He hears me talk to my friends. I'm the same way. Like, I'm not nice at all. So, the only reason I don't say anything is because I'm the same way.
I swear,
So
y'all
it's
the same
like,
person.
it's like
I
I'd
don't
be a
know why.
hypocrite to correct you.
That's what pisses me off about the whole thing, because like I just feel like I don't like that Victor and I are the same. He's just a younger version of who I was, except a lot less fucked up, and I think it's because he dissociates, but we'll talk about it another time. But like we just do this most of the same shit, but it's just because he genuinely said, hey, like, you're really an ass, like a lot, like
You are an ass.
so like, please, like, I know
I don't
you
know why I'm
care.
attracted to asses.
Yeah, like, I don't know. He's like, I know you care or whatever like that. And just to show him that his opinion does matter to me. I mean, I make an effort, but I think I think I talk to you less now because I'm not like saying mean stuff to you. No, is that true? Like, I feel like I communicate with you less. I just don't be having nothing nice to say.
It's the same.
I just don't be having nothing nice to say.
Speaking of things not nice to say, yo, Shamar proved to me that he really don't love me at all. Like I'm convinced Shamar don't love me at all.
What do you say?
Now, how many times have I taken y'all to the bank?
Before you
y'all
say
just,
it, I agree. Go ahead.
How many times have I taken y'all to the bank and y'all just hand me your card, tell me your pin, and I give y'all my pin? Yo, Shamar was like, I pulled up and Shamar was like, what? I'm like, you wanted to go to the bank? This dude was like, nah, I'll just go to the walk up. I'm like, in the cold? Yo, it was 8 feet of snow. It was a blizzard outside, and this dude wanted to walk to the walk up ATM. Never in my life.
I will not allow you access to my $300. I don't care if you spend $2,100 in rent.
My life.
My $300, you're untrustworthy. And that's on period.
I'm so old.
See?
I gotta write my pins down. I ain't gonna remember your fucking pin.
And then
In fact, I'm gonna ask you twice why you telling me. Okay?
First of all, snapshot. I'm gonna say snapshot when I need y'all to pay attention. This the lessons I be trying to teach you, Victor. Listen up. Next time your brother pull up to the bank, stop being lazy, get your ass out, because people in the world can't be trustworthy, especially his ass. He is a donut away from stealing your pen. Okay, so you need to act
I can't remember my own pen. I gotta write my shit down. All right. So listen, one day if I ever get hacked, someone gonna find riches. All $32 of them. All right. But I was like, oh, I know for real. Oh, Shamar said he don't fuck with me at all.
It's just another safety protocol.
Wait. I have an honest question since we actually on video or whatever. So I was telling our mom the other night when our mom was just like, Shamar doesn't love me. And so I was just like, well, I explained to him like back in our family, like growing up, you would as a kid maybe grow up and then like you'll confide in one of my mom's friends. First mistake. And maybe it could be a friend or somebody you'll say something to in confidence and then you'll hear it back. And then the only way you can protect yourself is just by not talking. You know, I can't subscribe.
You know, because there was a situation at
I knew it.
I don't know who's gonna watch this podcast, but
yeah, you don't have any details.
There was a situation.
You don't gotta be specific.
There was a situation at a place I was staying before,
Right.
and I told someone I was like, hey man, I really don't like to wash these dishes, okay? So like, I mean, I didn't say it like that, but it was kind of like, man, I really don't like washing these dishes every night. So then she's like, okay, you know, I'll talk to her for you. Bro, next thing you know, she come back, Shamar. I'm like, bro, what did you say to her? She's like, we have a dishwasher right here. You can just put it in the dishwasher. I was like, ever since that moment, like, I just keep all my thoughts in my head. I don't say nothing.
But then, okay, so that was a complete assumption, right? When I had this whole like 15 minutes conversation with our mom, but. Isn't that basically what I said?
She did.
I said
She was
only protective.
He said something to somebody in confidence, and then they went back and said it.
And I said it could have been simple.
And he ain't never heard the end of it.
And it could have been. I said it could have been real early in life, but the first time you said something, and then it's brought back to you in an island family. It's relentless. Oh my god.
Right,
oh my god.
You can't whisper.
No, but like it's bad. Like just
whisper.
It just like it in a Caribbean family or just in an immigrant family in general, like. It's bad. So the defense mechanism is all right. I don't know who I can trust. Everybody seemed like you could trust them because technically they're your family, right? So it's kind of like you just don't know, so then you just don't talk.
Well, in that situation, it was like it seemed like she was gonna be like, okay, you know, like I'll bring it up to her, you know, and see what she got to say. But how she came home talking to me, it seemed like she was just like. You need to talk. You need to make the other person do all the dishes. Shamar don't need to do the dishes every night, and was kind of coming at her. So then she was forced to come at me.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was also how the situation was handled.
Yeah. You know, that goes back. I always say, especially at work, the communication is everything. Mm-hmm. How you say it, where you say it, how you say it too, or how you even receive it is important. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when people say communication, they don't think of you know. Not just tone, but the actual gravity of people's feelings and how they associate words. Words mean shit. Like, words mean a whole lot. And people don't realize that. And just the slightest bit of pitch or not the right type of a tone, it sets off emotions that run wild. Because I know I'm like that. Like there's certain things that
Yes,
just I don't want to say trigger because it doesn't trigger me, but it
Doesn't.
instantly sparks an emotion out of me. And sometimes it could be angry. A lot of times it'd be like it just depresses me. So it's important, man. And that's why, like, for me, I have to feel it and show love. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta feel love, I gotta show love because not that it wasn't always around, but it wasn't enough for me. Growing up.
It was never around for me. Shit, my mama fed me and she put a roof over our heads, bitch, and that was about it.
No,
I mean, she loved you, but like at the same, like, did I get any of? You met me when I was a child, and you meet Shamar. Like, you see what you did with it. Like, that's the product of that household.
I discovered early on that I needed to feel love and show love. It's just how. So when I tell you I love you, man, I mean it. Like I ain't just saying it just to say it. I mean it.
No, I'm supportive.
Because there's other people I just tell them to kiss my ass. Like
I'm supportive.
it's whatever.
That's how I feel about stuff. I express love in being and immersing myself in something that somebody else enjoys. So you like music, I want to know about that. Nicole she makes stuff, so I purchase from her. Same thing with my other sister, I purchase from her. It's not to say I'm gonna throw money at the problem, but if you put out a single, I'm gonna buy it. My whole thing is that that I'm always gonna be the one to be supportive with my actions, but not my words.
Mm-hmm.
Victor, you haven't said anything. What have you learned in life?
What have I learned in life?
Yeah, because I don't feel like you ain't gonna learn
funny?
too much.
One big thing that I learned, and I actually learned it from you, maybe not directly, but along the lines of, I kind of learned not to set expectations for anything, and I mean anything.
He taught me that
in life, anything, and the biggest things for people. I learned not to set expectations for people, but not just people, just for everything. And ever since I've kind of embraced that, it's been about 2 going on 3 years now since I've kind of lived my life like that, not really expecting anything from anyone or anything. And it gives me a lot of peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows me to become more adaptable as a person because I deal with things as they happen, like head on. Mm-hmm. Instead of setting up these expectations and then being crushed when it doesn't meet these expectations. I just take things for what they are.
Yes.
So that's one big thing that I learned in life. There's just a lot of little things, little things here and there that apply to all situations. I've learned a lot about society, about my current role in society as a young black man, where I stand there, where we're heading towards as a society. I've educated myself a lot on different religions and whatnot, and beliefs, a lot how people live their lives, and the history of religion plays in not just our culture, but cultures all over the world, how huge it is. And a lot of debates among that.
Word.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, the key word in religion is interpretation.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of people won't care to admit it, but
that is what civilization is built off of. I mean, even our
Yeah.
laws and our moral codes and compasses and how we grade success, everything is based off of religion, off of that base principle that we all walk up and down. Even if you don't believe in it, the fact that you don't believe in it still means you're participating in it.
Yeah.
Because you're attempting to go against something. So that means that you are for something else. That is what drives all of us.
Yeah, but I mean the whole theology, or following scientists to actually study all these different religions and how they come up with certain verses, or how when they try to go back and find the original text of all the different books of the Bible, or just any righteous book or whatever the case may be. Just the interpretation of it. I mean, there were words that weren't invented for the times, and as time went on, people started adding their flavor and mix to it.
Not just that, there's certain aspects of it that just don't apply to society.
Exactly.
Certain things that we just don't have to worry, especially us. Another thing that I learned actually was how privileged I am to live in America, in the USA. Like, yeah, we have a lot of issues, right? But at the same time, I don't have to wake up tomorrow and worry about what I'm going to eat. And that is actually more prevalent around the world than you would think. Like, living in a first world country is absolutely phenomenal.
I got into a big argument with my mom about that. So my family are like tree huggers, or I say that they're tree huggers, where they're like liberal Democrats or whatever. So they follow the Democratic Party. I kind of lie somewhere in the middle because I really enjoy current events as a whole. I don't really spectate on it as far as creating an opinion about it. I just like to consume all of it. So we were in New York at something for Shamar, and we were like talking, and I got real frustrated with my mom because she was talking about a cop. And she was saying, and you know I have my issues with police brutality, and I feel like that's wrong. But she was saying that there were too many cops, or maybe that something was going on. And I was just like, well, that's so nice that you get to sit in a courthouse with air conditioning, you know, and get to be your little tree hugger self, get on a soapbox and talk about what you feel like that police officer is doing right or wrong. Not realizing that the fact that you're in an air-conditioned building with people to protect you so that you can have a clear thought. You know what people in Yemen is doing? They running from shellings and bombs. Yeah. They don't even have the ability to have that thought to then say, well, I'm for or against law enforcement, because they're running away from bombs.
To even be against law enforcement, period, is a luxury.
It's a luxury in and of itself to sit in this beautiful bench that was provided, you know, for you, with this police officer that is there to protect you while you're saying, I don't really feel like we need him, you know what I'm saying, like first world problems. Not realizing that, first of all, that opinion is radical in most places, and the fact that you just are able to be so comfortable to have that thought. And then my mom was saying something about, well, America is bullies and blah blah blah. And so I was telling her, I said, you damn right we're bullies, and I hope we stay that way. And she was like, see, the army brainwashed you. I said, no, the hell it didn't. But I want Russia and I want Iraq and Afghanistan to think twice before they hit us, because they know that there are dire freaking consequences to pay, because we're bulldogs and we're bullies. Don't come, don't touch our citizens. And if that bulliness, or how we're portrayed in the world, or how we're viewed on the world stage, is what is protecting you in this courtroom that's air conditioned right now for you to have that opinion, I'm sorry, but I'm on that side. I don't agree with everything that's going on that side. We have a long way to go. I agree. But at the same time, just realize that that whole thought process, or the fact that you're comfortable enough to arrive at that thought, is a luxury. And she was just like, you're brainwashed.
There's a middle ground. There's nuances to the situation.
Absolutely.
I feel like that you absolutely should, being that we have that luxury to stand against law enforcement when we see that there are issues. I think we should take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I think we should acknowledge that it is a luxury. Like, this is not like, yeah, let's do something about it, but at the same time, let's recognize that there are a lot of people who can't do anything about it, or who are killed for trying to do something about it. So there's a lot of middle grounds and nuances with that. But yeah, I learned a lot relating to just the world around me and my perception of it. So
I concur. Shamar, what have you learned in life? You know, you just out here.
I mean, in terms of like, more so like what exactly?
Like, just generally speaking.
Well, I mean, going back to what Victor said, I mean, just the fact of expectations and whatnot. So I mean, I guess it really started from when I was younger. I mean, I guess it could be more of like a little thing, but for instance, maybe when Rashawn would be like, oh yeah, I'll take you there this weekend. No. So for instance, when we were getting ready to go to New York, she's like, oh, 10, 11. I'm like, okay, 10, 11. 10,
1:30.
11, 12. I'm like, why did she even?
But he knew this.
No, that is absolutely, like, that would drive me bonkers.
I know.
That, like, you'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna leave soon, and it takes us an hour and a half later. It's like, yo, we told people we're gonna be there at 7. Why are we pulling up at 8:30? Like, why?
First of all, I don't got nothing good to say or bad to say about that, because that's just gonna be who I am, and if you don't like it, then don't talk to me.
I feel that though.
No, but that.
Nah, don't tell me something. Don't do that.
It's an expectation. It's something that I'm so, oh my God, I'm so bad at. Like, that is you experiencing that in that small facet. But I am like, it's levels to this.
I hate that though. I hate time expect. Like people be like, be here at this time. I'm just like, look, I'll be there when I'm there.
When I'm there,
yeah,
you
like,
will see
relax,
me.
bro.
When
Like,
you
no,
see
look,
me,
I don't
you
want
see
you
me.
the only thing I'm on time for is my
because you
job.
got
If
there
you're not
too.
paid, you're
Yeah.
not on
Come
time.
at 11:30.
You want me to show up on time for free? Who do you think you
Shamar
are?
is functional. Like, he is that type of person. Like, if he says 9 o'clock, he means 9 o'clock. If he says 11 o'clock, he means 11 o'clock. But he also knows that I don't subscribe to human time.
Yeah.
Okay? When I'm good and ready, I'll be there. But the most important thing is that I'll do it. I'll always do it, or I try to make some type of grand gesture where I'll be like,
I tried.
I
tried my best. I got out of bed. I just didn't leave the house.
Facts. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
What else did you learn?
Let's get into our bait news, because this is something that Shanna insists on
That's
having
me.
in. But no, it also keeps it fresh too, because I feel like we can go back and forth on what our expectations are. But let's go with bait news.
Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all 3 stories and y'all can decide what y'all want to talk about, but I already have what I want y'all to talk about.
So just say that then, instead of trying to make us guess.
No,
Say what you want to talk about.
but I'm gonna say which one I want to, what I think is the most important.
All right.
So we have Caesar from Black Ink Crew disciplining his daughter. His daughter got on live. She said that he beat her, and she described it as an assault. What I think happened is that he disciplined her in a popular African American way, which meaning he put hands on her. In our community, that's okay. It happens, right? I think her issue with it, or where she had such a hard time with it, is the fact that he's not in her life, like a lot. So you don't even see that person as a parent, and then he tries to get into that role, and then he doesn't crawl, walk, run. He kind of just goes straight into the run, and you're like, nah, you're a stranger on the street. I see it as a stranger on the street. Put hands on me, because really you've never been in that position. I bet that what happened during that assault that she says, and it's assault because that's what the law says. But what happened during that is nothing different from what she has experienced with her mother. The difference is that she lives with her mother and views that person as a disciplinary, as like authority, and as a parent. So she doesn't consider that as abuse, because she also has felt love from her mom. Usually when you don't judge a parent like that, it's because you also have felt love from them, protected by them, taken care of by them. So therefore you have goggles on. The correct goggles when you're being disciplined by them, because at the bottom line, they love you. Second story is Miss Iggy Azalea. Sis with Playboi Carti.
Why is she talking crazy about my dog?
She takes to social media because she said her baby daddy, she in the Black experience or whatever, but she just gonna put her toe in. She in the Black experience. She said her baby father is trash. She said that he disrespected her. She alluded to the fact that he also was physically abusive towards her. And all I gotta say as a phenotypically Black woman is that I'm gonna sit here and eat my food, sis, because you thought as a white woman that you could dip into the culture, but you didn't have to be of the culture. Joke's on you, sis. And then the third
Hold on, just to add to that, just so people understand, look, I'm the biggest Playboi Carti fan on the planet, but in terms of fatherhood, so he didn't sign the child's birth certificate. He didn't do that, so the child doesn't have his last name.
Very African American.
He wasn't there on his first Christmas. She said that Carti was in Philly with Uzi playing PlayStation when the baby was born. She said he was cheating throughout her pregnancy.
I'm not laughing at her pain, y'all. I'm just
no, it sucked, and that's the thing. Like, as a fan, and you can ask him. I've been playing a whole lot of Red nonstop, but like, you gotta separate the artist from the music. Like, all I'm saying is this nigga's a terrible person.
Okay.
That that thought process is unique, because we've been having that thought process for years. Like, when do you separate?
I'm about to segue into that because that's the third story.
Okay, go ahead.
So the third story is Asian Doll and Megan Thee Stallion beef. Now, I love Megan Thee Stallion. I seek out her music. I got her mixtapes. I got her EPs. I got her actual album. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about buying some of the merch, but I thought that was a little too far for a 30-year-old because she is like 24 or 25 years. Like, that's just too much for me. But I am a fan of hers. But at the same time, I think that she's my problematic fave. I think that she's always a mess. I think that she's a busybody. But I also want to shine the light on the fact that she has lost her mother, grandmother, and father. So she's just out here as a young girl. Exactly. She's by herself. There is no type of, everybody that is a position of authority in her life is not there. Also, do you separate the artist from the music? And just to be clear, I'm not speaking about her shooting because Tory Lanez kissed my ass, go to hell. But everything else, her constant beefs, her in and out, I do think she's a social climber. I think everything that she's being accused of, the fact that she even released a diss record on her best friend, who ended up, she was messing with a person that her best friend was messing with first. She's messy, and in 9 times out of the 10 situations that she be in Hollywood,
allegedly,
it be her fault, in my opinion. Allegedly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
do you separate her, which I think she's a phenomenal artist, lyricist. I feel like she's so young, and I feel like she has so much to offer, but she's just a trash ass person. Like, she trash.
What was the first topic again?
The first topic was Caesar from Black Ink Crew.
Yeah, so
It is
it's
what it
forgettable,
is.
so I don't really care about that. I don't really give a shit about Iggy either, and I definitely don't care about Meg Thee Stallion either. And not that I don't care about them, it's just those topics aren't important enough to me, but the conversation around them is. You know, this idea of fatherhood and things like that, like as someone that ain't got no daddy, you know, I do feel I do like it's weird because a lot of people don't want to have those conversations about like children and what it means to be dealing with a woman, and you know, at least from a man's perspective. And I'm sure that there's tons of you know, conversation around that, but there's nothing about the actual thought of bearing children, of having children in the world. Like, shit's not fun. Like, I'll be the first person to tell you that I love my son. But let me tell you, if I could have had just one slight do-over, I would, because it's hard. It is hard, and it's not hard like, oh, it's challenging and I'm going to get over this level. No, the level never stops. It
never
doesn't
stops.
end. I am constantly
changes.
having to evaluate myself.
About 11 more years at that level.
Yeah, but I have to.
No, but even as
I
an
can't
adult.
even begin to tackle his wrongdoing without addressing me first.
Yeah.
And then you know, some people will look at that and say, oh, well, it needs self accountability. No, it's none of that. It's the fact that if I want someone to do right, I have to do right. And then on top of that, you want me to then deal with someone else's emotions who's not on the same page as me? Like, no, fuck that. Like, no, I don't want to deal with you or that badass kid because I don't know what the fuck's going on. You know what I'm saying? I sympathize. I don't sympathize with Playboi Carti. I don't, because I feel like if you know you hunching somebody, and she has a child, nigga, man up.
Allegedly,
Man
she
up.
wanted the baby and
Yeah,
then decided
so-
to get
yeah,
it.
so
So
even
millennials,
worse.
I want to hear
So
the millennials.
here, all right, so I'm...
Oh.
I don't know. I was just
No, he was saying, fine, correct me.
All right, so as a 20-year-old, right? Here's my look on it. So even I feel like Iggy has to take fault for this because she's with this young rap star, this superstar who's living this fast life. Every single song he's talking about all the different bitches. Even on his album, he just released, he's still talking about fucking 100 different bitches, right? So I think that when he asked her for the baby, her accepting is on her too. Because let's be honest, what did you expect he's like 26, I think. Like, what did you expect from someone who's been
No,
it is, though, because he's been living this rap star, rock star life.
If that's the case, I want to be. I'm definitely going to become rich and famous, so I can write everything off as you know, I'm rich and young.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
He
saying.
is rich and young. He's
But
been rich since he was like what, 20?
Exactly. So
He's this young rich kid who has no type of responsibility, right? He just got his license. Like he's
They don't have children.
I get what you're
and
saying.
that's my point.
That's
This
the
young
point.
rock star kid asked her, she's older than him, right? You would think that she would look at the situation and be like,
No.
do I really expect this young kid to really be the father of my child, like, responsibly?
Yeah.
And she maybe she genuinely thought he would own up.
It goes back to my point. Blood don't matter, because if he really did all that, and you know all these sweet lies in her ear and shit like that, and then to still produce a kid and not have nothing to do with it, for me is despicable. And I have strong men issues. I also got daddy issues. I also got mommy issues. So I could be very jaded in this situation, but it goes back to the point of being responsible enough to say, you know what, I need to stop doing what I'm doing.
And he's
and
not.
sometimes it's too late.
He's
Sometimes
not.
it's too late. I get that. Because I feel like even in my situation, it was too late. Like, it's already done. Like,
Yeah, my bad,
like now he's 8. You know, he's about to be 8 soon. So it's already too late. But, you know, had I been responsible, things would be very different. You know, and don't get me wrong. Having a kid made me grow up and made me be responsible, made me do things I would have never done. You know, but it went through like some of the worst parts of my life has happened, and some of it not that I blame it on AJ, but the fact that I couldn't respond in the way that I wanted to respond to certain things because I had to think about not just my safety but someone else's safety. You know, it put me in a very bad bind. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what child adulthood or parenthood made me become. Is I second guess every decision I make because it doesn't just affect me anymore. You know, and the fact that and this is just a burden in my head, and again, it could be because I am jaded and because I ain't had no daddy. So for me, I could just be overcompensating for what I didn't have. At the same time, it's like I don't understand how anyone else could go through that and not think about that person that can't defend themselves at all times. Like AJ literally will not eat and starve unless one of us get up and feed him. And dude, do you know what happens when I starve? Like I am physically violent with people when I'm hungry.
But you can't pay him $10,000 to do that. Cardi can. That's the point. I think the way he's looking at it is he is rich. The baby will be fine. That's how I think he's looking at it.
I think so too.
I think because he grew up without having shit from the trenches of Atlanta. I feel like the fact that let's be real.
Shamar's like, yo, I'm from Jamaica.
Let's be real.
Trenches of Atlanta? Like, what do you mean?
Let's be real. Look, let's be real here. People who don't have money think money's the answer to everything, right?
Absolutely.
And I feel like he's on that now to where he's been rich for a few years now. He has this lifestyle, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna have this baby now because I can afford it. I can take care of my baby's not gonna have any wants or needs. He's not thinking about how this is gonna psychologically affect the baby.
Absolutely.
You know, what happened when that baby's like 10, 11, 12, and it's like, oh shit, my dad wasn't at my birth or my first Christmas. Like, he's not thinking about any of that.
But neither is the baby. The baby's never gonna I'm never gonna ask, yo, who's at my first birthday? Yo, who's at my first? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like no one ever cared. No one ever cares about their first anything. It's always about when you're old enough to actually want and desire stuff.
Okay, so what is the exact question regarding?
Like, do you think that? Do you have a way of looking at it? Do you think that he is we know he's wrong, but do you think that he's wrong? Because I think that he's wrong, but I also don't think that he's wrong. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Well, I feel the same way.
They're both stupid.
Got it. That's Shamar's opinion.
Listen, again, a perfect example of blood don't matter.
Because, I never really understood, especially growing up, why celebrities always dated celebrities. It was just weird. It was just weird. One reason I thought of is because I guess because celebrities not really gonna date unpopular people because maybe they might be with them for their popularity or their fame, and they would never really know, and they probably just around other celebrities and they just relate to them and they're only talking to them.
Exactly.
That's why when something like this happens, because this is probably something that happens
a lot.
Yeah,
millions of times a year or something. But the fact that it's two popular people, that's why it's magnified. Oh, he doesn't do this. Wow, he's a terrible guy. Mm-hmm. Which I mean he is, but
yeah, facts.
So that brings us to our.
I didn't give me my opinion.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
So I think that Playboi Carti is wrong, but he's also not wrong. So I think that Iggy Azalea plays a major role in this. I feel like she sought after him, knowing that he was not a complete human being, meaning that he wasn't even at the point in his life where he realized that there was a problem in order for him to fix, right? Because I'm 30 years old, and it took a minute for me to say, hey, I'm fucked up. Now, I can honestly say, I know my faults before you can even say it out your mouth to me, and I could give you a real report card as to if I'm working on it or if I'm not working on it. There's no, like, I'm not hiding behind it because therapy, therapy is good. So I'm saying you went after this. What you say? He's 26-year-old, rich, famous rock star. This is what she wanted. You wanted to have a baby by a popular man. You wanted an affluent man, and then you thought because you weren't black or that he didn't date black women that you were somewhat of an exception to the rule. So now that you've gotten what you wanted, and you for whatever reason feel like at your caliber that he's wronged you, because had this been an Instagram thought, or had this been somebody that wasn't Iggy Azalea, it would not have been a problem. Everybody would have said like, oh, you had that baby. Case in point, Future and that girl, his last baby mama, Eliza Reign. No, exactly. Nobody even cares what she has to say. It wasn't all over the blogs, and when it is, they're talking about her like she's crazy. What is the difference between that and Iggy Azalea? I feel like she was even more, I don't want to say that word. She was the P word, you know what I'm saying? She went after him, so why all of this? And then, also, I feel like as far as he's concerned, I feel like he has time. He will grow. You don't lose a child just because you didn't go to their first couple of birthday parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has time to course correct, and I feel that he will in some way. I think that she wanted to embarrass him. I feel like she did it.
For sure. She did it on the album release. Of course.
But she didn't embarrass him because everybody's like, girl, joke's on you. Like,
nobody cares.
No one cares. You're on here talking about something like you're talking like people didn't know that this was going to happen, and he's been doing this.
Do people not care because they're rich and famous and celebrities? Is that why?
No, people don't care because the way she did it.
Okay, it's the way she did it. Also, what did you expect?
You guys are missing the question. People aren't caring that a man who supposedly has a child is not taking care of it? Is that what we're not caring about? Or we're not caring about the person?
No, exactly. So that's another thing. So when Betsy, or you know what I'm saying, in the hood, baby daddy don't take care of the baby, that child is on government assistance. They are scraping to get by. It is out here hard, just like when Poke Chop, you know what I'm saying, Stroller got stolen off that porch. There's real consequences to a Playboi Carti's behavior in a low income family. Why people don't care is because whether she's on Instagram or not, whether he's a good father or not, there is no consequence to his behavior.
That baby will never want
There's
anything.
no
that baby will never struggle.
That's why people don't care.
So people don't care.
So it's a fake problem, basically.
People don't care because of the money.
Yeah.
All right. So I am in no way am I the morality police. I don't give a shit about morality. I would say 85% of the time, you do right, you get right. You know what I'm saying? When you do bad, you get wrong. Like, that's just what it is. I do feel like, no matter what, Playboi Carti got to be responsible.
Facts.
No matter what. Like, I don't give a shit what Iggy Azalea do. Now, I do understand, because that's going to be our next topic about, well, that's going to be another conversation. We're going to have a whole episode dedicated to what non-phenotypical, how you say it?
Non-phenotypically looking black women. So that would be light-skinned black women. That would be racially ambiguous black women, white women.
We're definitely gonna have a conversation about that, because coming from a family full of light-skinned yellow people, I go back and forth on the fence about this issue, because a lot of the things that people, or that dark-skinned people, usually women I hear, talk about light-skinned men. I don't feel like it's true in my case.
I don't.
But
I don't think it's true.
But
it is funny.
You're jaded, but I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny either. Like I find it highly disrespectful. You know. But I'm also.
What are you referring to?
Just a lot of
niggas that y'all niggas is soft. Like, you know what I'm saying?
like
that Chihuahua meme
no.
where it's like how light skinned niggas
not
take
just that.
pictures.
Not just the memes. I'm not just the fundamental idea that because we're light skinned, we treat women a certain way. You know, so it always blows my mind. Like, oh, I thought you only date this type of woman. I'm like, you never asked. Like, you never asked what I like to date. Like, what, you basing me off of one girl you saw me with, or one girl that you saw me hang out with? Like, she wasn't even my girl, kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that. So we definitely gonna have that conversation.
Yeah,
but I do think that Playboi Carti, and for me, you know, if we had to look at those three situations, we have Caesar, Playboi Carti, Iggy, and Megan Thee Stallion. If there was a butthole of the week, a whole butthole of the week, I still think it would be Caesar. Because there ain't no way that you're not gonna take care of a child
And then
for
pull up and
most
try
of
to
her
beat
life,
them?
and then pull up and try.
That's
Yo,
ridiculous.
I
At
wish.
16?
I wish someone would.
Armand, okay, you don't got
I
no
wish
daddy, right?
some stranger talking about you, my daddy, come up to me trying to discipline me. No, we were fighting, and you're a
because
grown
Victor,
ass man.
at 16,
We were fighting.
You are almost full grown. Can you imagine somebody just coming up and beating you?
Or trying to.
That's
That's what will happen. It'd be
it would be a problem. So that's why
wish.
I understand where the daughter is coming from. But what I do want people to understand is because people are like, oh, he beat her, and I'm like, okay, by law, it's an assault.
Like,
but
well, people get beat around here. That's fine.
He didn't do
But
anything
ain't
that a
no way
regular
that
parent.
ain't no way that you ain't gonna be in my life and then try to pull up on. No.
Because at the same time, she didn't have no bruises, no scar. Like, her Chinese bun was firmly intact. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he ain't, Brianna her. There's no, like, he didn't do anything that in the African American community that's not considered normal. What's not normal is that she is 16 years old, damn near fully grown, and you think you could beat her. Mm-hmm. No, at that point, we're fighting. We're fighting because I see you as a stranger and you're trying to hurt me. I don't have that backstory where I know my mama loved me. You know what I'm saying? She might be a little crazy, but I know she loved me. So I know she's not going to kill me. That girl, the fear that she has, she probably really did have it. Like, how do you know that he knows when to stop?
Yeah, a grown
You know what I'm saying? That's
grown
scary.
men hitting women is one thing, but then grown men hitting women who they think is their daughter. Because I feel like men don't have an off switch as easily as some people believe. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a point to where some men who can't control themselves are just gonna snap and keep going. And I feel like most men are prone to that, and I could be wrong.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would have done that to her. I don't think he would have actually harmed her. But I think the point is that she did not know that.
If one thing I learned, that parents don't have limits. It takes a different type of person to have limits. When it's your child, you think that you could just do whatever you want to do to them because you're the parent. I've experienced that way too much in my life, where people think that they can treat and do things to me just because they are the adult or parent in that situation. So for him to look at a 16-year-old and be like, yo, I'm about to tear your ass up because I'm your father. No,
she didn't wash the dishes. She didn't wash the dishes.
It was over
hell no.
Yeah, it was
hell
dishes.
no.
No, and he had asked her like a lot of times, and she was just kind of dragging her feet on it. And it was something.
See,
he was trying to teach her something. So there's a backstory to it.
Let's grab up all the dishes, throw them all away.
That's what people were saying. So people online is like, because of the way that you are in her life, like you should have threw the dishes away. You should have done some type of shout out.
He didn't teach her anything.
He didn't. But the thing is that he told the maid, "Don't wash your dishes," because I told Cheyenne to wash the dishes, and kept telling Cheyenne, "Wash the fucking dishes." Then she didn't do it, and then decided to go get in the shower. So he felt disrespected, and he didn't feel disrespected. Like he just felt like, you're not listening to me. You know how parents get. He's trying to prove a point. Now I don't think he would have hurt her, but that's not the way you teach a 16-year-old that you do not know.
No. Actually, that's a problem I have. I don't like how parents do not look at their children as human beings too. They look at them as objects. They look at them as something they control, ownership. And that shit is ridiculous to me.
It is so toxic. It is so toxic.
Yeah.
And I think that's another symptom of that. Like that.
Yeah.
That.
Like, don't matter.
Like, oh, you know, I feel disrespected, so I'm gonna hit you. It's like, okay, even if you were trying to teach her a lesson, what's the lesson? That you're gonna hit her when she doesn't listen?
If you get angry, if I don't listen, you're gonna physically assault me.
Or if you feel disrespected, you're gonna hit me. Like,
hit someone that disrespects you. Like,
there's no lesson taught there. All you're doing is exerting force to try to get what you want.
Exactly.
On someone with less power than you.
Exactly. And it's a messed up dynamic, and that's why, like, even with AJ, like, I apologize, and Armand hears me all the time, and I won't just say sorry. I'll name the action that I did, apologize to him, and tell him that I will get better. Now, I'm still not perfect, but the fact is that I always stop him, and I always say, like, you're your own person. I always make it a point to apologize to him, and like, because if I did something wrong, I don't care whether it's good or bad or how I feel as a parent, and I don't want you to feel like I can do wrong so that you don't have to listen to me in another situation. I need to be showing him, like, behaviors that I want him to practice in society, right? So if I'm treating him like a subpar human being, he ain't even a real human being. His opinion does not matter. What he wants does not matter. It is all about his parents. how am I supposed to expect that person to enter a relationship feeling whole, right? Now he's gonna let somebody take advantage of him, whether it's his boss, whether it's his lover, whether it doesn't matter, right? I want him to come out into the world and know that he matters. So when my child says something to me, I'll even stop and explain to him why we're not doing his way. And when will he get an opportunity for his way to be recognized and his action to be done. And if there's no one, I hate this in the black community. If there's not a real reason to say no to AJ, like a safety reason or something, a scheduling reason, I'm not saying no to him.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to not just say no just because you can say no when you're a parent. That shit is dumb. It's whack.
I hate that answer because I said so.
Yeah.
No.
It's like that's why, and I noticed that you do that. You explain to him when he asks why, because that's something I didn't get growing up. When I asked why, it was because I said so, because I'm your parent. You know, I never got the actual explanation. So I noticed that that's something you do. You explain that to him.
Yeah.
Even when I'm playing the game and he's on top of me and stuff, I'm like, AJ, you have to get off me. He's like, why? I'm like, because I'm playing the game, I'm trying to focus. Like, I'll explain to him. Like, I don't just say just get off me and go. Like I try to.
Yeah, and I try to give him that thing, but it's also about recognizing him, because when somebody in society don't recognize his AJ, he gonna fucking tell him. He's going to tell them, you did not recognize me in that argument just now, or you did not listen to what I'm saying to you, and I told you. And I've caught him doing that to my mama, he will stop people. You didn't listen to me, and I said something, and I told you that I didn't like that, but you didn't listen. That's because I stopped what I'm doing. I reckon I let him know that I heard him, and if we're not about to do it, I'll tell him why. But I'll also give him an opportunity to do it at a later date.
Yeah.
Because I want him to be practicing whole ass human being shit.
You give him a whole lot. I don't do the whole because I said so, but I do tell him, like, AJ, you are bothering people. You can't sit on top of people. No one likes to be touched all the time. And for me, it's hard to say that because I like to be touched. I like to be held, and I like to hold people and stuff like that.
Whack.
I like all that stuff. So, but I've learned the hard way that people don't like that. So I tell them all the time, don't do that. Don't touch. Don't hold people. Don't let go. You can't be on everyone's face. You can't sit on everyone's lap. You know, because it's just. You know, a lot of people don't like it, and some people take offense to it too. You know, always being touched and stuff like that. So, and for me, it's even him being 2 months old. My fear is I got a young black male, and we live in a society where you know they target young.
We have to move carefully.
Yeah, you have to move carefully.
You have to watch everything you do.
The wrong gesture, the wrong gesture,
can be interpreted
or a hand
anyhow.
rub, or whatever the case may be. He touched someone the wrong way. They don't like it, and all of a sudden it's sexual assault.
But we see that now in his school.
What?
You know, in AJ's school, like I found myself having to advocate for him a lot.
Well, we advocate him, but they never accused him of just
They've
doing
never
stuff.
accused him of doing stuff, but I've seen it where, like, for example, I did not know when I told you about how Melissa had cussed out somebody for him because they were saying, like, he was doing something and he was somewhere, and I think they were making noise. But the adult in the room addressed AJ, and it was actually on video conference. And it was like a bunch of white children that were actually being loud, and they were not addressed, and he was addressed several times. And Melissa got furious and, like, stopped the class, because her daughter is in the same, like, class as AJ, and said he doesn't even make noise. That's not what he does. He's not that type of kid. Like, he may, you know, you can accuse him of maybe not paying attention sometimes, but he's not loud and rude.
No, he's quiet on wisdom class.
So it wasn't him. It's the kids in the background. But she had to stop.
But AJ also knows how to put himself on mute too, so I definitely find it hard to believe that.
Does he?
Yeah, he knows how to put
I know.
himself
Whenever,
on mute.
yeah.
So, like, but the thing is that she was just like, well, Melissa was upset because, you know, she has biracial kids, so I feel like she's starting to see the differences in the way that they're treated now. And she was just like, and she told me about it in the sense of, like, I don't even understand, like, how she would even address him, because had she even been in that class or teaching that virtual lesson any amount of time, she would have realized that he's the quietest kid in the class. Like, why you won't call him out? Like, what did he do?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm, like, always, like, suspicious. That's suspicious. Like, that's why I'm always like that. And that's why I be telling y'all don't talk to nobody in this area, because I be scared. Like, I know I be...
You know, it's like whenever I'm at my job, and then someone comes up to the register, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And they're kind of just like, hey, I'm like,
Are you racist?
Yo,
okay. I'm gonna be real.
It's like every other person that
There's
could
not
raise their
enough giddy in your
I'm
how you doing.
I'm gonna be real. There was this one guy, and I know this is a huge accusation, right?
Nah, it's probably true. Go ahead.
There's this one dude, right? He looked like if I say the word redneck and the image that pops in your mind, that's what he looked like.
Okay, got it.
So this is when I was working at my last job, and I was on the register. And every day he came up, I peeped that he never said anything. I'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" He would say nothing. You know, I'll ring up his stuff. But, all right, have a good one. He just walks away, right?
One of those.
And then I one day I peeped that we had this white girl at the register, and he was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" He was talking to her and shit. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's because she's a girl. Then we had a white boy from another store at the register, and he talked to him, and I was like, this shit kind of crazy.
Oh!
And then later I peeped. I was on register again. He didn't say anything to me, so I was like, okay. And then the whole Black Lives Matter thing started popping off and getting really big. So my job, we had pins and stuff that we could wear, and different things, accessories, show they love us or whatever. So I had the pins and stuff on, and he came up and he kind of just looked at me for a second, and like for a dead second just looking at each other, and then he went back, he looked back down, and I was just ringing up his stuff, and I said, have a good one, and he just shook his head and walked. Like he was like disappointed, and I was like, yeah, you a KKK member, bro. Like,
nah, here's the thing though, you're 100% right, and those microaggressions don't let that gaslight you. That person was definitely like prejudiced at a minimum and racist at what he probably actually was, right? Mm-hmm. Because today I had to go to the grocery store in my uniform, which I don't like to do. I don't like traveling in uniform. I don't like going out in uniform. Right? So when I go out in civilian clothes, I'm a girl, so I don't really experience too much. People at a minimum just ignore me, right? I went to the grocery store today. Everybody was helpful. So now you see me. I'll be here all the time. People were helping me. The coupons, you like, oh, you never used coupons before. A white male stopped what he was doing to look for the shrimp that had the coupon, pulled it from his coupon slit, and gave it to me. This person would not even had seen me had I not have that uniform on. And I remember when we first moved here, and I called you and told you this, I went to that grocery store with civilian clothes on. I went to the grocery store, everything was fine, but there was this little white girl, and she was blonde. I don't know, children love me, I'm the baby magnet or whatever. So the little girl was like, oh my God, she's cute. And the mom, she was walking, she's like a little older than a toddler. So the mom kind of like didn't pull her, but she like held her like a little tighter and like walked, right? So the 2 days later, the following day, I went to the same grocery store for lunch, and I was picking up something, and that same lady was there. She damn near threw her baby in my arms. And you know what I did before I even touched that baby? I said, ma'am, I was the same person like 2 days ago. And she stopped what she was doing, and she kind of just like froze, and I walked off. I didn't want to disrespect the baby because I don't fight kids, but at the same time, I'm not going to touch your child. Don't pretend like you care now. I'm the same person that you pulled your child away from the day before, but now I have on a uniform, and now you want me to hold your baby? Yeah. Fuck you and that baby. Yeah. So, and that's what they're being taught. That little girl has about another 2 years before she realizes her parents' prejudice and is going to follow suit. Not because she wants to, but because that's what she's taught.
What's that name for that stage where they pick up everything?
I don't know, because I'm not
there's like a stage. It's like the first few years of like the kids
it's like 1 to 5.
Everything.
They pick up 1 to 5. They can learn like multiple languages, like easy.
That definitely sounded like a rant. But I want to talk about our stems and seds, man. It's like our stems and seds, our ups and downs.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
but
so just say ups and downs.
Stimulants. Stem for stimulants and sedatives.
I don't want to do that. Pineapples.
Why not? Why don't like that?
No, it's different. It's different.
Yeah, I don't want to do ups and downs.
Well, then always say up and down.
I don't want to do ups and downs.
No, but what I'm saying is say it and then say up and down till I get it together, because I'm a little dyslexic.
Listen, stems and seds.
Got it. Okay, whatever.
All right. This is the point where we talk about things that give us a little bit of stimulant. Okay, some things that pick us up, or things that put us down.
Like recently or just in general?
In general. Recently. Sure. Current events, man. I mean, for you,
go first.
Might be WLR, but
I can go first.
That's what I was saying. I didn't want to go first. I'm about to
go first.
Little rant, so you can go first.
All right. So mine is really simple. Something that gives me life is other people's success. I don't know. It's been like that since I was a kid. I just love to see people win. And I mean for everything. Like when I see somebody with a new job, a new house, like doing something, like I like it. I'll cry. I get goosebumps. It just gives me life. Like I just really enjoy when other people are happy. Something that brings me down is a misconception of who and how I am because of me. And that is because I feel like I do a lot of stuff that is like, can be misinterpreted, you know? I'm a little rough around the edges. So I hate that perception is like, hinders me in any way or makes a person feel like bad. Not bad like, oh my God, I don't like her because she was rude, because that I don't really give a shit about that. But if that actually stops you from doing something, or if I've actually made you uncomfortable for the day to where you're uncomfortable in your own space or skin,
That gives you down.
yeah, that makes me feel
That's
away.
sad.
Yeah, because I feel like usually when that happens, it's because you're in a position of some type of authority, or just like maybe in just a higher level than that other person, and because of where they view you, that is the only reason why you're able to affect them so negatively. So I hate to like fuck that roll up and like make somebody feel bad. Like I don't like that.
Okay.
I like everybody
You
to look at
next.
me. Well, I mean, in my opinion, probably just be like the ups and downs of just like music producing. It's just like sometimes I might, you know, make like 2 beats that I really like in a row. I'm like, okay, I'm actually good. Okay, I like that. And then I just make a couple beats. I'm just like, oh man, like this is just doesn't sound right. The rhythm is off. I'm like, oh man, like this is just tough.
This is it. Keep your day job like that.
No. I mean, you might think of that, but at the same time, it just okay. So for instance, when I was growing up, you know, there was a lot of like rappers, and they were like 18, like, you know, and like pretty popular, and I was like, oh, man, because you know my situation, I felt like I was always late to everything. I'm like, damn, like by the time I'm 22, like I feel like I'm too old to do anything. And then now I even said that, like, kind of in a way this to him. I was like, you know, like it doesn't have to happen in a year. Like a lot of the people that I hear, who I really look up to, like they've been doing what they're doing for 5+ years, and finally is doing something. So, I mean, even if it takes another 3 years, 4 years for me to get to where I want to go, I don't think that's too late anymore.
That's a good mindset.
I concur.
Well, you just want to get paid. That's why.
Yo,
Facts,
this is true.
facts, big
This
ass
is true.
facts.
Facts on facts. Because at first, I thought I was going to have to get Social Security checks for them. Because, you know, sometimes I be looking at the stuff that they do and they be kind of like less than smart. But then I blame that on their like upbringing and stuff. So now I figured they're like super talented. Like one of them composes music and stuff. Like that shit is cool. And then I also think it's really cool because I don't know how he could even be like that when... Like, just knowing, how could you be like a parent without spending no real time with that parent? I just think that that's fucking weird. But it's like weird in a good way. So I don't know. I think you got some good juju, man. I think that shit's gonna work. And I don't think it's gonna work on like a small scale. I think it's gonna work on a big scale, but I do think you're gonna be like that white guy, you know, like that white. I think he be working with all the rappers and stuff, but he don't never wear no shoes.
What does that mean?
Like he's
Rick something, I can't remember his name, but he's the one that founded Def
Oh,
Jam.
that guy. I feel like you're gonna be like that guy. I don't know. I hope you're like all out in the thing. I hope you're like the P Diddy
Like,
type.
you mean like in the cut type?
Like, to be honest,
Yeah.
like over the years, I've been thinking about it. Like, I really don't want to be like famous or popular. Like I just want to have like my pocket's good. Like I want to be like respected amongst the people who do it and my peers, but I don't really care about being popular. Cause like think of it like
That's what I thought.
like I mean
think
I
you
guess I
both
could
know.
use someone like Kanye West because he's like a superstar, but like he can't go out and do regular things. Like sometimes I just want to like, you know, you just go like think of the things we take for granted in terms of his life, going to the grocery store, going to the amusement park. Like he can't do none of that.
It's a
Like
solitude
yeah,
life.
so like I don't even want to be famous. I just
Okay.
wanna-
I get that.
Is that your up or down?
What?
I think it's both, because that's what he said. It's both music producing,
Oh,
both it's ups
like
and
when
downs.
it's good, and when okay,
Yeah.
When it's
I
bad,
follow
it's
that.
bad.
My stem? I don't know about you, but I definitely want to be famous one day. I don't know.
Not necessarily.
My stems. What gets me up? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't felt up in a few months. I just haven't felt up. I don't really have a sed either. Like a good night's sleep would be a stem for me.
Oh yes.
But a sed for me would be
good night's sleep.
would be. You know what? There was some phoniness happening when we went to Florida, and there was other things that whatever. Yeah, there was some phoniness happening. But given the circumstances, I couldn't pinpoint it. But when I think back to it, it's like, yeah, that person was kind of phony. That's the phoniness is a sed for me.
Okay.
But a good night's sleep is definitely a stem. Like, please, oh my
Man.
God.
Y'all don't get
That's a
this
good
yet
night.
because y'all young
Yeah,
buds,
we
and I
old.
be seeing y'all sleep with y'all mouth open at a moment's notice. But y'all got about a good
Who are you
half
talking
of
to
a
about
decade.
sleep? Armand, how many hours of sleep you think I get in a week?
Man,
About
In
9?
a week?
About 9?
Probably about 80. I'm snoozing.
Man, at
do you
this
even wake up
age,
Sunday?
Why y'all think I be sleeping so hard in the daytime though? I
at
be
this
up at night.
age, it's hard
Me
to
and
get
Shamal
a good
left. We
night's
went to Delaware,
sleep.
came back. We went to KOP, came back. He was
You did, because you did come in the room, and I was just like, why don't you just leave him alone? Because that's my pet peeve, right? Because I'll be going through that. Like, I get really upset, and I get on Armand all the
I was gonna be
time.
doing all the time.
Well, I like it.
don't
You lie?
like it.
I like to know he
don't
cares,
feel like,
okay?
I don't feel like I want him bothering you guys because I just felt so bothered
Go
in
back.
my home. Go back in your room, baby. But like, I just feel like
Close
I
the door.
don't like it. So you know how he has complaints about me being mean to y'all? My complaints to him is that he doesn't allow y'all to just be, and I don't want y'all to feel like y'all are on our schedule. So if Shamar want to stay out here and sleep for 6 hours while we're doing things around him, that's what he wants to do. Stop asking him questions. Leave him alone. Oh, how many times you gonna go in the room? Victor's still playing video games. Stop impeding in their space. Get out of their personal space.
I just want to be part of.
I don't know how Shamar feels about it, but me growing up, we never lived in the same household, right?
Okay.
So to even have him come in the room, I enjoy that. When he comes and sits and watches me play the game,
Really?
I enjoy that.
His friends are
I
funny.
personally enjoy that.
Do you know that he would probably do that more? But we have real deal.
I realize I peep that he
arguments.
doesn't do it anymore.
We
and
have
I'm-
real.
No, you've been
arguments
sleeping
about
way
it.
too goddamn
I
much,
do be
man.
sleeping.
You haven't been playing. I come in, the game on pause. He laid down, listening to some 80-hour, tranquil music. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
I argue a lot about that, and like in a real way, like not even a play way. Like I.
Because when I
get
catch you
into a
playing,
lot.
because then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna play too.
That's why I be
something.
coming out like, yo, leave him alone. I said,
But when he
I
don't be
like
playing,
that
I'm like,
shit.
I
I'm like, get out
I
of
don't
their
feel
space.
like
If they
playing myself.
invite you into their space, that's one thing. But do not, like, I don't want, they're grown people. Allow them to invite you into their space. Not because this is your apartment or you pay the bills. That's their room. Don't go in there unless you're invited. So we get into real deal Holyfield
I feel
arguments.
like he got an all access pass. He can just pull up when he wants. I'm okay with. I don't know about Shamar, but I'm okay with it.
That's another thing. Like y'all. Well, okay, I see why you would not, because Sean never has any clothes on. But like for real though, like if it's just the weekend and Sean's not here, like dude, y'all don't have to knock on the door. Like just open it up. Like I'm not doing. I swear I'm not doing nothing.
Nah, I'll never do that. I don't care. I don't care. Even when y'all not home and I gotta go get laundry, I still be knocking just to make sure. I don't ever want to
I
walk
don't
in.
be- I don't be caring.
I don't want to walk in on no one changing or nothing. Like I don't want to.
Nah, Sean never got no clothes on. I don't know why.
No, it's true.
Look,
I be going through some stuff, man. I be really going through some stuff, and plus they be saying on the YouTubes that having clothes on is not good.
No.
So all right. It's funny that you bring that up because I was just thinking the other night. I was like, all right, that could be another thing. So
That's for episode 2.
Yeah, that's for episode 2. We're gonna talk about nudist
Or
communities.
episode 001 because this is episode 000.
Okay, so are you done with your thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my stims and seds, my stimulus. Recently, my stimulus has been definitely the album that Playboi Carti dropped.
Oh God, you're such a stan.
I am such a
Oh
stan.
my
I
God,
feel like
you're-
He's been
it's-
definitely listening to that album very casually.
bro.
He's capping. He's capping right now.
Shamar said the hate
Like-
be so real.
Like the first night he was playing it, he had to set the whole mood. He had to put the lights red. I'm like, and then like I feel like the first few songs he was listening to it, he was like, damn man, this thing. I waited 2 years for this.
Nah. Look. So look. So I have. So this album is the only full album in my playlist. My playlist is like 600 to 800 songs, and it's the only full album in my playlist where I legitimately enjoy every single song.
I can
Right?
appreciate that.
Now, my hot take on this album is that I am glad that it is not, and this might not make sense to y'all, but for people who actually listen to Playboi Carti, I'm glad it's not another self-titled or another Die Lit. If it was similar to his older music, I would be somewhat disappointed. I'm glad that he changed it. I'm glad he evolved. And I'm glad that the influence there is rock, metal, and punk. You know, because that's something I really personally enjoy. So
yes.
that has been my stimulus.
Stimulant.
That like I
look at you,
wake up and
baby.
listen to it.
Because the stimulus ain't happened. It was more like a
Little change
sparkle,
drop.
Sparkle
I
on
can't
the
believe
lips.
them niggas gave us back our money and spare change and then had a nerve to be late about it.
I wish I got a
All
sprinkle.
right, what you said?
My set. Lately I've been having some issues with my close friends. They're like my brothers too. I've been having some issues with a few of them in terms of like just drifting apart. The people in my circle are people that I've known since I was in middle school. Some of them elementary school. So knowing them for all these years, it just, I noticed that a few of them are becoming more distant. Even when I reach out and try to talk, it's very, they're not open anymore as they used to be. Whereas I could say, hey man, how you doing? That would start a whole 2-hour conversation. Now it's just, oh, I'm fine. I peep stuff like that, and that has gotten me kind of down lately, because I was just thinking, I was like, so I don't question my success in life. I know I'm going to be successful because it's get rich or die trying.
All facts.
So I'm just thinking that when I am starting to reap my success and whatnot, who's going to be there with me? It's just because there's people that I want to be with me, and there's some people that I know will be with me, right? Obviously my brother, but my friends that are my day ones.
Wow, what was that? You looked very retarded. Continue. I'm so sorry.
My friends that are my day ones, I just, as much as I want them to be with me, I feel like that once I hit that level of success, they're just, a lot of them, there's going to be a lot less people in that room than I want there to be. So that's been my down lately.
I disagree with you. And the reason why I say that is because I just
disagree with his own.
not like that. No, it's not like his disagree with his set. I guess it's like dropping the nugget of being 30. So like relationships that are really, really close to you, you go in and out of of speaking to each other. And that's because y'all be experiencing life and shit like that, and some people are like living, and it's hard to manage both when you walk into different roles in your life. However, if you embrace it and kind of be like, all right, this is a downtime, but we're going to get back to where we were. I feel like I wish somebody would have told me that, because I feel like I would have retained more friendships. From like the sandbox days, for allowing them to evolve and grow into something else. There are going to be times where you're going to, like in adult life, where you really, really start being who you guys are, where y'all are going to talk every day because there's certain friends that you're going to relate to. You guys are on the same path or whatever the case may be. And then there's going to be other friends where you talk to sometimes, but the conversation will be several hours because you guys are trying to catch up. But you do understand that bond, that this is not a catching up like, hey, I'm good. This is a catching up. Like, there's no boundaries with this person, or there's no wall. I can speak freely. So I just feel like relationships are going to grow and change. And you're literally like at that point to where it just starts happening. You guys just got out of like school and people are trying to figure it out, but now shit is kind of happening and people don't know how to react, and people have expectations. Like, when I thought when I was like 18, I thought at 25 I was gonna buy a house. Bruh, it don't be like that. Life don't be like that for real. So I think when I said I disagreed because I feel like you should really embrace that and kind of walk that path. Now, it might lead to you guys really falling off in a sense, but I would go into it feeling like, let's see what happens, because I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think it's going to be a revolving circle. And you got to figure out with each friend, like Armand has a friend that he never talks to, but when he does talk to him, they be on the phone for like an entire shift, like 4 to 6 hours.
Until our phones die.
Yeah, so you got to figure out which friend is like that, and you're going to have some friends that you're going to speak to with a high level of frequency, and you guys are never going to miss a beat. And then there's going to be friends in the group that duck off and come back and duck off and come back, but you guys understand your bond. I think this is going to be that pivotal time where you realize who those people are. You might have like one little straggler that you're like, all right, no, we fell off. We're different. We're going in different directions. And you can handle that accordingly. But I think that evaluation at this time, I wish I had somebody to tell me that, because I would have not acted like a fucking banshee and been like, oh my God, my friends do not love me. And you're not here every second of every day. Like, we used to talk all the time. And like, what is this? Like, I'm not used to this and I need you guys. I had a good family, but they are my family. You guys know everything about me. I share my thoughts when I'm afraid to do so with my family. So it's like,
I just agree with that. Family don't know nothing about nobody.
When like, no, but what I'm saying is like, they are like my actual, you know, my thoughts. So I feel like when we fall off, you're taking a piece of me. Like, no, don't go.
My thing is that I'm so close with this particular circle of people, and we're all so close with each other. It's not like just me. It's not like I'm friends with each of them. We're all that close to each other.
Right.
It's literally like a family there. Like, so, and we're all in the group chat and everything, and we all have an open line of communication. But there's certain ones that, I mean, y'all hear me on the phone with my dog in Florida. Like, I talk to him like every day. And then I have some that, you know, I have one that I haven't talked to since I first got up here last year, but he still will hit me up every now and then just to see how I'm doing and stuff like that. So I understand that there's going to be, you know, at the end of the day, we all have lives and stuff. I can't talk to you every day or every week or something like that. But it feels different. It doesn't, it feels like it doesn't feel like they're dealing with life, because I feel like you can just say that, you know? Like, if I ask you what's good, bro, you can just say, I got a lot going on right now, and meet you up at another time or something, instead of just saying fine. You know, like, I just feel some type of way about that, because it's like we're also open with each other, so it's like,
yeah, sure, you should be but okay, so then that's different. I feel like you should name that feeling and like move on it. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
want to confront and be like, yo, what's good with you, like, real. But at the same time, everyone's in Florida, so like, what's the most I can do is a phone call or a text. Like, before we used to be able to push up on each other and stuff.
I mean,
now
don't
it's
pull
like,
up in the panoramic, but
Because we all went down there and caught the vid.
Don't pull up on a panoramic. But I mean, like, in other sense of the word, use this environment. That's what I really want you and Shamar to do. Use this environment to y'all. I feel like y'all don't use it in certain ways that I feel like it is there for you guys, like a safety net. If you are feeling like, man, I want to fuck with my friends, go home. Go to Florida. Not home, because, you know, here's home.
I can't, though, because I'm building right now. Like, I can't. I mean, let's be real. I missed a lot of work in like the last 2 months. I missed a lot of work, like a total of like 6 weeks maybe.
November just didn't happen for anybody.
Yeah,
like,
so, but yeah, I missed a lot of work, and right now, like, I already told him my plan. Like, right now, I'm like boots to the ground in terms of like focusing on my creative, like just my music career and whatnot. Because like I said, I don't question my success. It's just a matter of making it happen.
Drop a track together. Like, so, he got the beats, you got the raps. Like, just do it.
I mean, I've been wanting this to happen, but you know, I'm trying to
like,
let it be organic, like in the grocery store. So I'm just.
It is like I have a roadmap. Like, so here's the thing about me. I come off as a very, you know, what's the word? Like, lackadaisical person.
All facts.
Like, I don't really care or pay attention to anything. And it's facts. I don't care. I dissociate. I don't care about anything. But I do have a plan and a roadmap, and I am taking the necessary precautions to get to where I want to be.
Man, that is
because
relief.
At the end of the day, I know that if I don't make it happen, it won't happen. Like, there's no handouts. I'm not going to win the lottery unless I want to. So it's just my look on life, my philosophy on life is perception is reality. If you want something, get it. So if I want to be successful, I'm going to get it. It's just a matter of me actually doing it. So that's why I can't just go and take a few weeks off work to go to Florida or you know, go vacation somewhere. Just, you know, I really want to grind right now, because the way that I want to be, the life that I'm going to create for myself, I'll be able to do all that for a long time. So.
Okay, y'all, so after all of that, he's going to owe me a lot of money, and I've been keeping receipts on exactly how much the dollar amount is, and, you know, I'm up to a lot of dollars.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off the map when I get rich. Again, so, you know.
So, and then, yeah, that's all I have.
He's going to pick up my tab, so.
On that note,
yeah,
that was a pretty good revolving rant, because I feel like our rants don't ever end. They just keep revolving around in circles. So.
Yeah. And I feel good about it.
That was good, man. I feel like this was a good energy podcast. We had our laughs. We had, well, nothing to cry about, but we had our laughs. We had our understandings. This was good. How y'all feel about it?
I think it was cool. I think it was nice.
I think it was cool.
All right.
How long was it?
I don't know, but we're not gonna stroke our own egos here, right?
What do you mean? No, I mean like I think it's good. I think
it's good.
This format is better.
I mean, you know, me and the word ego get along very well. So when it comes to stroking our own ego, I mean, I think I did phenomenal. Best talking points, most interesting person.
And on that note, we're gonna end that here.